Cool. Okay, so let's jump on it. Okay, so we are going to be talking about the institution accounts. So I will get out of here. So what we're discussing today is institution accounts, admin setup, and how Muzie can be used for Studio. So one of the big things we've been working on for a long time, and this is not new. I just felt it would be a good time to sort of bring it all together because we did just add some new features to the institution accounts. But the idea with an institution account is one admin can add a whole bunch of different teachers to their institution, and then the admin can take over things like scheduling, assigning students to teachers, inviting the students in, managing general, day to day lesson, you know, scenarios. So, and we'll go over all of what it offers. So, as an admin, basically, you'll just see a new little icon, institution. In here is really where everything is going to happen for your institution. That you'll notice in this page, or as we go through, there are tools that are very similar to other tools that you have in your teaching account, but these are separate. So if you see file sharing over here on the left, and you see institution files over here, they're completely separate. So if we'll dig into how that all works. But basically, you're always going to start with the institution setup. So you're always going to start off by filling out this information card. Now, this card information goes nowhere except to me and the people at Muzie, just so we know who we're talking to. When you ask questions, we can pull out your card, figure out who you are, what you might need, and go from there. You really don't need to fill it out with much information. There are two things at the bottom, though, that are very much worth paying attention to. The first one is only allowing the admin to invite and assign students. Most of the time, this is checked off because we see that, and depending on how you run your studio, but I think it's most common that the admin will be in charge of acquiring new students and then assigning those students to the teachers. If you run an institution where the teachers are in charge of assigning their own students and doing all of that and getting their own students themselves, then you can uncheck that and allow them to use their account in that way. But once you lock this or turn this on, it locks the ability for your teachers to invite students to the platform. So this can ensure that they're not working with students outside of your school, and that the account is only tied to the students that you want them to. The other one is just, do you want a notification every time a teacher signs up? That's just so you know that they are signing up and you can kind of keep on top of what's going on. But once you update it, it will save everything and kick you back to your main page. That's all. Now your institution is set up, so you can start doing really whatever you want. So if we go back in here, really the first thing you're going to do, or the first thing I would suggest you do, is add some teacher members. So these are going to be the teachers that you work with. It's as simple as just punching in an email address and clicking add. It will immediately send an invite to that teacher. Once they create their account, they'll log in and they will see a little pop-up that says, would you like to join this institution? And as soon as they click yes, you'll see them, pop up in this. This status will say joined. We're using a test account right now, so you can ignore some of that, some of these statuses. But as you see here, this teacher has joined and is currently online. So this is where you'll manage the teachers. This is their teacher codes, their email addresses, names, things like that. Pretty straightforward. You really don't go to this page very often after you've set up your studio, other than to add or remove teachers. So once you've added your teachers, you're probably going to want to add some students. So you go to institution students, and there's a tab up at the top here for inviting students. This works similarly to the invite students that you would have as a normal teacher, but since we blocked that, now we can only do it from here. The idea is simply that you add new students, you punch in all their email addresses. You can simply copy and paste a whole big list into here. Hit next, and it will ask you which provider you use for your emails. If you don't use any of these or you use Yahoo, you will just want to copy the invitation and then just send it manually. But this is the same way you send everything in general. It'll open your email account. It has a pre-written email for you to send to your students. This will bring everybody onto the platform. It has all the teacher codes and everything already plugged in for you. You can edit this as much as you would like. So this is just a template. Feel free to change it. But we just wanted to provide you with that so you do have it. Once you hit send, all the invites will go out to the students. They'll just create their accounts. Once they've made, one important factor is students do have to make their accounts before you can start scheduling their lessons and things like that. So it is important that they go out and do that. And as you see, you can resend the invite if they haven't signed up. Once students start signing up, you'll notice that this page will start filling in. On the side here, you're able to choose which student is assigned to which teacher. Just click the list and pick the person, and now they're moved over to that new student, or that student's now moved over to a new teacher. So it's a really good way of being able to move students back and forth if a teacher is sick and you have a substitute teacher, or if someone's changing lessons, or maybe students that take lessons with two different teachers. You can really easily swap them back and forth. The students' files and materials will stay saved in their account, so it won't impact the student. They will have access to all the material from both teachers. This allows the teacher to actually send the lesson invite. Now, once you've done all of that, typically you really don't often go back to the institution students or members page. Once you've set this up initially, those two things usually stay relatively static. Of course, when you're adding new students, you might go in and invite some students, but overall, you're going to probably spend most of your time in schedules, files, and setup. And dashboard. So let's sort of move through these. Institution schedules is one of the options you have as an admin. This is very much optional. Teachers do have the ability to create their own schedules in Muzie. Our schedules, though, are just a list for what's going on that day. It's not external. It's only internal, and it just tells you who you have and when you have them. So if you click on this teacher, you'll see that they've got a set of lessons. These are the times that the lessons are. They are 30-minute lessons. This one is available to start now because the lesson will start in the next couple minutes. The other ones are for future dates, so those are not available to start yet. As an admin, you can create new events for your teacher. So if you wanted to come in and add another lesson for the student, the teacher doesn't need to do the scheduling themselves. You can do it for them, or they can do it themselves. We offer online or in-person lessons, and then you can set it up and it will just be added to the list. This will automatically populate into the teacher's account, so they'll see the schedule update instantly. You can do this for all of your teachers, or like I said, you can just let your teachers do that on their own. Scheduling is very much an optional feature in Muzie. We assume that you already have some kind of scheduling platform. And as you probably know, we don't do billing and invoicing and external scheduling. Those are the two features that are not really part of what we're trying to achieve at Muzie. So one of the other things that we have is institution files. These are different than the files that you have as a teacher. This is from the admin point of view. You can share files with all of your teachers in one click. So you can create folders and files just like you would in the normal file manager, but these ones go into special folders that are designated with the yellow color or orange. And this allows the teacher to know that this has been shared by their admin. Things that could go in here are like studio policies, documents that everybody should just have access to, or if your school does run off of a specific curriculum and you do have, digital copies, the admin can just upload them all once, and then all the teachers will have access to that material. It's then up to the teachers to disseminate that out to their students, but it just allows you to basically pre-populate your teachers' accounts with content. That can also be used for a couple of different scenarios, such as courses and like workshops and things like that. One of the other things that we have, just go over this real quick, is the institution reports. These are just quick reports to access what has been going on with a particular teacher. So we're looking at Ian. We see that he's taught one lesson this month, and in the past and Fred has taught 6 lessons, and we can go back and check through the months and see what people have been teaching. So you can access quickly a whole list of everything that your teachers have worked on, and you can choose which teachers you'd like to see those lists for. You can also print them off or download them, so you can have those as reports if needed. We also do pull reporting. So if there are any reports that you would like that we are not showing up here, we probably have the information. We just don't want to overclutter. So if you need something that's not here, you can always just reach out to us and we can provide that for you within reason, of course. But the last thing I think, and the newest, coolest feature I think for the institutions, is the dashboard. So the dashboard's really interesting because this allows us as an admin to keep an eye on what is happening in the studio in real time. So we can actually see all of our teachers who are actively online, all of our students who are actively online. We can also see who's offline on both accounts. And we can see the completed lessons for the day and the schedules lessons for the day. We can also dive into these to edit them if needed. This allows you really quickly to see if all the lessons that should be running are running. If anybody's late, if a teacher hasn't shown up, you can really quickly assess what's happening from this page. You can also click on a teacher, and then all of the information on this page will change to only be associated to that teacher. So you'll see we've selected the teacher Ian. If there were other teachers online, you could choose the other teachers, and the content on this would change similarly to how the student dash or the main teacher portal works. The idea here, though, is you can see in real time what's going on with your studio, and you could reach out to the parents or the students or the teachers just by clicking their email address. That will quickly pop open your email, and you can fire off an email to see what's happening, or if you need to reach out to them however you would normally reach out to them. This will at least give you an in-depth or high-level look at what's happening in real time. So as an admin, that's a very useful tool. Now, that's sort of the general gist of how the institution works. Really, to summarize what it's all about is linking multiple teachers together so that an admin can have sort of oversight and control of what's happening in the institution. We have the ability for you to share files, chat, and provide resources to your teachers. You can keep an eye on what your teachers are doing with the students, both in reports and in real time. You can schedule the lessons for your students and teachers. You can invite the students and assign them to the teachers. You have a lot of flexibility, and there's always new things coming. So, of course, I'm sure this will be updated at some point. But if there's something that you don't see or would love to see, we're always open to more suggestions. That's basically how Muzie runs. You tell us what you want, and if it's approved by the greater good, then we end up building it. So, like I said, 2 things, though, just to mention just off the bat is payment software is something that we are not going to be doing. We've done it before, but there are some great platforms out there that you can use instead that have phenomenal payment services with billing, invoicing, scheduling, and reminders and all that kind of stuff that I'd recommend funds.com. They're personally my favorite. I use it personally in my own lessons. Phenomenal platform. Integrates pretty seamlessly with Muzie. It's as simple as just dropping the location of the lesson as Muzie.Live or Muzie.Studio. And the student gets the invite, clicks the link, and they're in their class. So it's very, very simple system to use, the 2 together. That's just one avenue we will not be going down as a company. Our focus is education tools. If it can help you teach better and it can help your students practice more effectively, then that's what we're all about. Billing, invoicing, scheduling. As great as it is, it's not our wheelhouse, so we'd recommend pairing up the 2, and you'll have a absolutely killer setup for your studio. So just wanted to sort of put that out there because that is a pretty often asked question and requested feature. So yeah, go check out Fonz. But if you have any questions, feel free to come reach out to us. on our built-in chat support. It's right down here in the corner. If you use it, it comes right to one of us. It's always a real person. You can also search through the help articles if you would like. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thanks.